Welcome to the Committee on Government Operations, reconvening today, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, 3 p.m. for decision-making on measures previously heard on February 5th. Convened in conference room 225. Meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the very likely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, February 12th, 2026 in room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. With that, we'll go right into the 3 p.m. agenda. First up, we have 2983 relating to natural resources, criminal destruction of trees. Recommendation is that we move this along as a Senate Draft 1. Technical non-substantive amendments for purposes of clarity and consistency, a defective date of 25/25. Also note in the committee report that notwithstanding the no vote of my colleague, to have the Committee on Judiciary look at whether there should be some language to clarify removal of invasive species, which should still be allowed. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, Senate Draft 1, 2983.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair McKelvey?
Yes.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Hashimoto?
Aye.
Senator Moriwaki? Aye. Senator Owa?
No, noting that we're all here to protect the trees, but if we cut down like some haole koa or an albizia for say, I don't want nobody getting fined for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Duly noted. We have that in the committee report. So you're on Judiciary. You can make sure they address that. All right. Next up, 2930, we're revolving to the State Risk Management Revolving Fund. Recommendation is that we blank out the amount. Defective date of 25/25. We're going to recommend that the next committee, Ways and Means, look at potentially considering raising the amount to the full ceiling, which I believe is $211 million. In there, we're going to put about as hard of a condition precedent as we can in a bill that hasn't been enacted. In the committee report, we're going to make it a condition precedent that the spreadsheet be delivered to the Committee on Ways and Means for full deliberation before the measure moves forward. Okay, any other questions or comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2930, Senate Draft 1, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Of the members present, are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure passes.
Okay, relating to procurement, this makes permanent the Small Business Procurement Program. Recommendation on this one is we remove the appropriation and the FTEs. We'll put them in the committee report. We're going to defect date Section 6 to January 1st, 25/25, and Section 7 to July 1st, 25/25. And also, we want to note in the committee report that by making this office permanent, it could also assist SPO in some of the other legislative endeavors we have going on, like the local procurement preference. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2928, Senate Draft 1. I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, 2927, relating to procurement. Disclosure of competing proposals. With everybody's indulgence, we'd like to go ahead and address a few more issues. So we defer time certain, Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in this room 225. Okay, 3068, same thing. We'd like the committee's indulgence to defer time certain Thursday, February 12th, 3 p.m. in room 225. Yeah, they are. We're going to handle them together on Thursday. Yeah, correct. They are the same. We're going to dispense of them both together on Thursday. Just want to make sure we're getting the best of everything. Okay, next up, 2970, relating to standards of conduct, prohibits a state agency from entering into contract to procure, dispose of goods or services. What we're going to do on this one is we're going to add an effective date of 25/25. We're going to adopt the Ethics Commission's recommendation of subsection C. The director, acting director of a principal state department, and any deputy director of the department shall be responsible for ensuring that all contracts entered into by the department comply with this section, and a subsection D, any violation of this section shall be assessed against the director, acting director, or deputy director at the time the violation occurred. With that, any questions or comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2970, Senate Draft 1, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Senate Bill 3015, relating to personal information. With the committee's indulgence, I'd like to also roll this forward. Time certain, Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225. I'd like to discuss some things with the author before we bring back an amended version for the committee's consideration. Next up, Senate Bill 2929 relating to public notice. This too, we're going to go ahead and defer time certain to Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. We want to look at some of the concerns that were raised in the testimony by SPO. And then finally, we have 2938 relating to search and rescue. We were planning to move this measure out. However, in the recommended amendment, it could trigger a re-referral, so we'd like to discuss it with the appropriate committee chair before we do that. And with their concurrence, we'll bring it back Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225 for consideration. And finally, we will clock out of our 3 p.m. agenda, and we will go into our 301 agenda with everybody's indulgence, which is Senate Bill 2662 relating to government accountability. This addresses the use of external consultants. What we're going to do is a couple of amendments. We're going to remove the cap on page 4. On page 4, we're going to remove lines 5 through 11, which was the preemptive approval. On page 5, lines 5 and 6, we're going to amend it to read technical or specialized expertise unavailable in the department and a defective date of 25/25 for further conversation in the next committee. Also, the committee report, given the concerns of the auditor, we're going to put in language to have them look at potential appropriation or FTE support should they be required to do the work that's envisioned under the bill. Members, any questions or comments on this work in progress? Seeing none, recommendation, Senate Draft 1, I vote yes.
On SB 2662, Chair's recommendation to pass with amendments. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, I think that does it for the DM. Welcome back. Moving on to the next agenda, GVO-EIG joint hearing, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, 3:05 p.m. In order to facilitate this hearing in a timely manner, we will be enforcing a 2-minute limit on testimony. As such, we ask that you do not read it if you've submitted it, but rather expand on it, and please feel free to stand on your written testimony. First up is 2543 relating to state construction projects, Office of the State Construction Manager within DAGS. First up, we have the comptroller.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony and providing comments on this matter.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate it. University of Hawaii. Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have DLNR. Which DLNR is it?
Sir, Todd Chaponi from DLNR Engineering. We stand on our written testimony with comments.
Okay, thank you for being here, appreciate your comments. We have the Hawaii Iron Workers Stabilization Fund.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chair. Is me just a minute. My name is Cody Sula with the Iron Workers Stabilization Fund. Part of the reason why we support this bill is the main point of this was to make sure that we get a handle and we take a look at all of this overspending and wasteful spending on all these large state construction projects. We're not against construction. We work in construction, but we believe that if we can save money in certain areas, we can have a more healthy construction industry, more projects, more work for our people. And then some of the money that's saved can go to other programs that actually help provide tax credits for our people to stay home and make Hawaii more affordable. And we also submitted testimony. We stand on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. We also have testimony and support from you. Actually, not you, but your boss, but you're just as good, so come on in.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. What you heard Cody said is exactly why we're here, but our main reason, and I feel it's important that you guys are aware of this, for the last few years, we've been trying to pass a tax credit bills that will give the retirees and the kapunas and the families that making the lower income some breaks on their taxes for medical, food, or household things. And we've been getting the same answer, no money, no money, no money. So we decided to say, okay, let's go look into the state and see what's going on there so that we can hopefully work with some of the other departments to free up some money. I have a list over here, a small list, 10 projects, $350 million wasteful spending or extra spending. Yeah, due to construction projects that are given to our contractors under like design build contracts. It's like giving them an open book, open check to do change orders. And we wanted DEGS to know that we're not against them. In fact, we had a meeting with them. It was a very good meeting. And whatever adjustments and changes that they're gonna make today, we support them 100%. We've worked with them, we talked about them. We're happy to say that they're open doors, that they understand where we coming from and what we need to do to help the less fortunate in the state of Hawaii. And we feel by doing this pilot program with the construction and how they manage and how they run their project in the near future, gonna save a lot of money. So that is why we're here. So whatever DEGS is gonna put on the table as far as the changes and all of that, we 100% support them, along with the rest of our members, we 10,000 strong, and we hope we can free up some money here to go in different areas so that we can do stuff for the people that really need it. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for being here. Next up, we have Randy Pereira, HGEA. They are in actual opposition. Julia Fink, AIA Architects. They have submitted comments. Johnny May Perry, they have put in comment, or support actually. We have late from Gary Kurokawa from from Ironworkers.
Gary Kurokawa, representing Ironworkers, standing on the testimony.
Okay, in support. And 2543, that is it. Is there anybody else on this measure wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, are there any questions? Nope. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next one, which is 2435, electric vehicle charging infrastructure, retrofit state facilities to be electric vehicle charger ready. First up, DAGS.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony in support of this matter.
Okay, thank you so much. We have the Hawaii State Energy Office.
Chris Hunter with the Hawaii State Energy Office. We stand on our written testimony, providing comments, and are here for questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's see, we have also Climate Change Coordinator for the Climate Change Mitigation Adoption Commission. Okay, thank you so much. Hawaii EV Association. They have submitted written in support. 350 Hawaii, written in support. Ted Boland, Climate Protectors, in support. Tiffany Ajima, Alliance for Automobile Innovation, they are in support. And several individuals, B.A. McClintock, Jacob Wienick, Christian Kaakua, and Johnny May L. Perry, all are in support. That's all I have on 2435. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, questions, anybody? Yes, go. Almost.
So
Good afternoon.
This is requiring DEGS to build 25% of all parking spots to be EV ready. Is that something that's in the plans, and does that make sense? With that number?
Yeah, so I will just say this, that we have been retrofitting our state facilities, our parking facilities, and we have a plan to be able to do that so that all of our facilities are properly built out with the right infrastructure, not only to meet the needs of today, but also for the needs of tomorrow. As we know, as these vehicles become more enhanced or improved through technology, it may require additional electrical infrastructure that can accommodate that growth. And so we want to make sure that we're building out our facilities in that appropriate way. But we are putting those monies back in. In fact, if you look at the testimony, one of the things we're asking for is just to, as part of our budget request, are the ceiling increases in the special funds that we have so that we can further expand that. So our responsibility ends at DAG's managed parking facilities, and I think that's a really important note to make because we don't control all state parking facilities. DOT has parking facilities that they're responsible for, and we've got our own as well. So
I have an EV, but I noticed that some EV stalls are going unused.
Mhm.
So, and you can get cited for parking, being a non-EV,
Yep.
parking in a stall. So, I mean, that takes up space. Just to see what the balancing of all of that might be
Mhm.
if it's in state facilities.
yeah, so we have parking control officers that are patrolling our DAG's managed facilities, and they are issuing citations for people that are improperly parked in those specific parking spaces, as well as making sure that if you're in there and you have an EV, that you're actually charging your vehicle and you're not just sort of pretending to charge it, because it's really meant to, be an active stall, right? So we do have staff has that specific task to go around and make sure that we're keeping those stalls open for people that actually need to charge their vehicles.
But I guess what I'm saying as well is, what if you don't have people using it, stays vacant?
It does, yeah. But, I think for the most part, the EV stalls are pretty well utilized. I mean,
So you think the 25% is reasonable?
I'd have to defer to the Hawaii State Energy Office.
The net loss, I think that's what I kind of sensing that, am I correct if I'm wrong? The concern is you're putting 25 additional electric, and now instead of 100, there's only 75 because 25 is now gone.
Right. I mean, I will just say this. My goal is to meet the needs of our users that are in our state our DAGs managed facilities. I want to be very clear about that. And as much as we can build out those EV stalls, we want to be able to maximize that, because that is the direction I think that we're heading in. I mean, in terms of the future of vehicles, it may not be today and it may not be immediately tomorrow, but I think 10, 15 years down the road, a majority of the vehicles will be electric.
They'll be driving themselves.
Right, that's right. They already are, right, actually.
That's scary,
That's
So-
scary.
So
we'll
are
see.
you suggesting that we consider making it applicable to all agencies and not just DAG? That we want to,
I don't want to speak for my sister agency.
well, we can. Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Any other members, any questions at all? No? Seeing none?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, Senator Richards.
Yeah, thanks, Director. As we're talking about this, I think about the Big Island and our distances there, et cetera. One of the concerns we've had is having the infrastructure to support EV charging, because that's been pushing it. Is that something that you will be evaluating as you go into it?
I mean, we'll take everything into consideration as part of that process, Senator.
Because that's, I'll catch you up. We've had some issues with that. I don't disagree that electric will be the future, but for the rural district, it's a real challenge.
It is, and we recognize that. And in fact, as part of our analysis, when we're looking at approving purchasing of different types of vehicles, and that we're required to go through a multi-step process where we eliminate sort of we start with electric vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, hybrid, right? And we kind of move down the list to the internal combustion engine vehicles. Exactly what you're describing is part of that calculus, right? To determine whether or not it makes sense. Because on your island, especially when you're talking about a 2.5, 3 hour commute from one side of the island to the other, it may not be feasible with the current technology that exists for EVs.
And it's not just a 3-hour commute. We climbed up
Absolutely.
7,000 feet, so.
Yeah, and we recognize that, we have vehicles in our DAGS facilities out on your island, in Hilo as well as in Kona. And one of the biggest things that's holding us back from having an electrified DAGS fleet on the island is that we just, we can't find the right vehicle with a large enough battery capacity to be able to operate that vehicle for the 8 to 10 hours that it needs to be operated.
Well, I appreciate that, and just so for the record, I have asked manufacturers of electric pickup trucks. I said, give me one, I'll give it to the cowboys, and I'll tell you what's wrong with it in about 2 months, but I've had no takers of that yet.
And if I can, Chair, really quick, is DOT has been a huge adopter of some of these larger, full-size electrified vehicles, and I think they would be a great resource to be able to kind of share what their experience has been with those types of vehicles.
Agreed. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Vice Chair.
So, you said DOT is not under DAGs. What are we talking about in terms of these other agencies like DOT? How many are there that we're talking about?
That might have their own parking facilities. Yeah, DLNR may have their own, yes, because they've got parking lots, right, that are out at their state parks. I don't know if the DOE might have their own parking lots, right, in their facilities. for their teachers, as well as some of their students perhaps, or get visitors that are coming to the facilities. The DOH might have at some of their state hospitals, right, that aren't necessarily part of ours, but, yep.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Judiciary,
Thanks,
too.
Vice Chair.
Another one, yeah, University of Hawaii.
Judiciary,
Yeah,
yep.
and judiciary.
Reminds us they're constitutionally separated. Any other questions on this bill? Looks like there are none. Thank you for coming up here. Okay, we have, going on the next measure, 2352, renewable energy. This is one that allows for a self-certification process of behind-the-meter, customer-sited solar distributed energy resource system. Say that 3 times fast. First up, we have testifying for Independent Energy, James Rudolph. Written in support, we have Miles, project developer. Written in support, Roy Skaggs, individual in support. Oh, I think I actually jumped to the second page. My apologies. I'm going to just go through these real quick and then we'll jump to the beginning. Several individuals who've testified in support. We have Late from Sierra Club. We have Late from the Solar Supplies, Solari Corporation. Late from DCCA and Late from Sunsphere Energy. Are any of these individuals or entities here to testify? Okay. Yep, go ahead, sir. Mr. Sato?
Sorry, I'm with KIUC.
Okay, we'll get back to you then. Go ahead, Rocky.
Aloha, Chair McKelvey, Chair Wakai. Rocky Mold with the Hawaii Solar Energy Association. I believe I submitted written testimony. I didn't see it in the printout on the website, but I want to testify in strong support of this measure. This measure would implement a self-certification pathway for rooftop solar and energy storage. It's something we've been, advocating for a number of years, and would be a major breakthrough. It would really help us to lower soft costs for solar going forward, and we need that help significantly because we've lost the federal residential tax credit, and we have very ambitious goals to interconnect rooftop solar over the next 5 years. So this would really help us get moving. And I'll just note, in addition, we worked out some language with the Department of Land and Natural Resources that fixes an issue with permitting in FEMA flood zones. And we're very excited about that breakthrough language that we got across. So testifying in strong support, I'm here to answer any questions. I'll make sure I get my testimony to you all somehow. But thank you very much for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, I jumped the signal of my other committee here, so this is actually the EIG lead, so I will defer it back to you for the rest.
You were doing so well.
No, I was not. I
Sorry,
jumped on the
didn't
wrong
want to
page.
mess up your momentum.
No, you're covering my tracks.
So members, we're on Senate Bill 2352. We just heard from Rocky Mold. On our testifiers list, we have Ryan Kanakaole from DLNR, or someone from DLNR.
Good afternoon, Carol Tiabing, DLNR Engineering Division. We stand on our written testimony to offer comments, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have with our collaboration with Rocky and the language with FEMA.
Great, thank you for being here. Individual from the PUC.
Chairs, Vice Chairs, I'm Bobby from the PUC. I signed the PUC's written comments. Available for any questions, please. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Okabe. And via Zoom, we have KIUC.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. I'm Scott Sato from KIUC. KIUC stands on its written testimony in respectful opposition to this measure and kindly asks for your consideration of the noted amendment in our testimony to exclude member-owned electric cooperatives from this proposal. Thank you for allowing me to testify.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. We have Kerry Shahan from DCCA has submitted testimony in opposition. That's all I have for individuals indicating they'd like to testify. Is there anyone else in the room or online? Oh, Sandy?
Sure. Yes. So I'm not sure if you all received Rocky's testimony. This is Sandy Wong
Yep, we
for
did.
the Hawaii
We did.
Solar
You were
Energy
on it, yeah.
Association. So I just wanted to add, because we have worked collaboratively with DLNR, and there was an amendment that DLNR wanted to insert and that we are in agreement to. In the bill, it says design professionals. However, the DLNR feels strongly that that should not include landscape architects. And so I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the committee.
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
Sandy. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on Senate Bill 2352? If not, members, any questions? Rocky, are you still there? Rocky Mold?
Yes.
So KIUC wants to be carved out of this measure. And I don't know what your experiences are on Kauai for getting rooftop solar permitted. Are you okay with cutting them out?
Yeah, they've been very efficient on Kauai with their permitting, and so I have no problem, and we have no problem with allowing them to be cut out of this requirement.
Okay, thank you, Rocky. Members, any further discussion? If not, we'll take a brief recess prior to taking the vote.
Welcome back to the committee, Joint Committees, Government Operations, Energy, and Intergovernmental Affairs. We had a couple measures. First up was 2543. Recommendation is we're going to take the recommended amendments offered by all three entities, DLNR, DAGS, and the University of Hawaii, and throw an effective date of 2525 on there for further conversation. Members? Okay. Recommend
Good staff.
is that we move with the Senate draft one. I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation on SB 2543 is to pass with amendments. Chair McKelvey
Yes.
votes yes. Vice Chair votes yes. Senator Hashimoto?
Aye.
Senator Moriwaki?
Aye.
Senator Owa? The measure is adopted.
Okay, thank you
For
very much.
EIG members, same recommendation. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for Senate Bill 2543 is to pass with amendments. Chair votes yes. Vice Chair votes yes. Senator DeCoite is excused. Senator Richards.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendation is adopted.
All right, thank you, everybody. 2435, electric vehicle charging infrastructure. What's good for the goose should be good for the entire gander. So we're going to have it applicable to all state agencies, and we're going to lower the threshold, given the concerns of my committee members, to 10%, with an effective date of 25/25. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2435, Senate Draft 1, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Of the members present, are there any no votes or reservations?
No,
No vote for
I would have been okay with just DAGs.
Senator Owa is a no
Don't you want
vote.
electric at the airport?
The measure is adopted.
Every place should have.
Same recommendation for EIG. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for Senate Bill 2435 is to pass with amendments, noting the excusal of Senator DeCoite. Of the members present, are there any objections or reservations?
When they build.
Don't vote for me.
Okay, noting an objection from Senator Favela, the recommendation is adopted.
Great, thank you. The last measure on this agenda is Senate Bill 2352 relating to renewable energy. The two chairs have conferred. We'd like to make a few substantive amendments. One is to take DLNR's suggested amendment to exclude landscape architects. The second amendment will be to appease KIUC, since they seem to be permitting solar rooftops quite quickly, that we will carve them out of this measure, and we're going to defect the date to April 19th, 2042. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for Senate Bill 2352 is to pass with amendments. Of the members present, are there any objections or reservations? Seeing none, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay, Committee on Government Operations, same recommendation, Senate Draft 1, I vote yes.
On SB 2352, are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, this concludes the joint hearing. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Aloha, everybody. Moving on to our last agenda, today's joint for joining us for the GVO hearing, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 3:10 p.m. First up, we have 3230 relating to procurement, prohibits all governmental bodies and public employees from procuring services for project management through non-governmental third-party contracts. First up, we have Dags.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony providing comments on this.
Okay, thank you for the comments. SPO.
The State Procurement Office will stand on its written testimony providing comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Department of Education. They have submitted comments. I believe they're supposed to be here in person. Going once, twice. Absent, but we got the comments in writing. Let's see, President for the American Council of Engineering Companies of Hawaii. They have written, are they on Zoom?
Not available on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, sounds good. They're written in testimony opposition. We also have late from Reed Mizui, an individual in opposition, Ikaika Kincaid in opposition. That's all we've received on 3230. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none. Members' questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next one on the agenda, which is 3249. Relating to procurement protest requires forfeiture of cash or protest bond in an administrative proceeding for review of procurement-related disputes if the initiating party does not prevail. First up is Keith Regan Dags.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony providing support.
Okay, thank you for State Procurement Office.
The State Procurement Office also stands on its written testimony providing support.
Okay, thank you so much. We have Tim Lyons Subcontractors. They have submitted testimony in opposition. We also have General Contractors Association of Hawaii. They too have submitted testimony in opposition. We have Ralph S. Inouye Company Limited. They have submitted testimony in opposition. And finally, we have Richard Hetzel, individual. They have submitted written testimony in opposition. That's all we've received on 3249. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next bill, and this would be 3332. That's 3332 related to state-funded travel. Establishes a 2-year state-funded travel moratorium for certain state agencies. First up, we have Keith Regan, Comptroller Dags.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony providing comments.
Okay, thank you so much. SPO.
The State Procurement Office will stand on its written testimony providing comments.
Okay, thank you so much. We have Hawaii State Department of Education. They have submitted opposition, no, comments, my bad. Christian Fern, University of Hawaii Professional Assembly. They have submitted testimony in opposition, and we have late from Terry Chang and Gregory Misakian, sorry, my bad, and they have written testimony in support. That's all we have on 3332. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, are there questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yep, go for it.
if there's no questions from your members, can I be asked?
Yeah, you can.
Ask questions?
Go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
Grab a mic and,
Can I just submit this to the chair for your information?
all right.
I guess Keith Reagan, since you're here.
Good afternoon, Chair,
Hi.
Vice Chair, members.
So I guess the question I have for you is that you're saying that this is implementing a new layer of restrictions and would create unnecessary administrative complexity for state agencies. Can you explain that?
Well, Chair, members, the legislation that's being proposed here would actually require DAGs to compile this information and provide a report to the Senate or to the legislature on an annual basis. This is information that we're not already collecting, and so it would require us to divert staff and resources to be able to compile that information. I also understand that we already submit to the Senate through the budget process a list of all of our travel, our annual travel, as well as detail or information that provides a summary overview of what those travel, what travel occurred throughout the year as well.
So if in fact we did not have you do the summary report at the end of the year and that each department would then be responsible for sending that in, that's your only objection?
For me, it's just a resource. It's a matter of resources
Right.
and having to track. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's your only
Yep.
objection to that?
That's, and I'm also, if you also look at the testimony, one of the things that I did mention was that within the Hawaii Administrative Rules, Chapter 3-10, there's actually a lot of restrictions that are already in place within that administrative rules. And so if there are things that you think are missing, maybe we should be looking at the rules to perhaps add to the rules if we don't go the path of statute. So I'll just kind of throw that out there, that that's an option as well for you to
because
consider.
what's asking in this bill is not really anything new. This
Yep.
is what you're supposed to be, or administrators or supervisors are supposed to be overseeing to begin with. So if we didn't have a problem, we probably wouldn't be here today talking about this. Because if you look at the amount of travel that WAM went through, pages and pages for every single department. And, you know, for DOE, we had 217 and they didn't even answer all of those concerns. For UH was 458 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And each page is like 60 or 70 lines. And so it's quite a lot of travel.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly in the times of austerity, as we are in now, having the supervisors look at, because the bill allows for a lot of exemptions,
Yep.
a lot of things that, you know, so this is for travel, that discretionary travel, and even then, there's exceptions made in here for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't believe that this bill adds on anything more other than the fact that you would have to then create this summary report.
Yes,
So
that's correct.
we could amend that portion.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
No, unless DOE is here, and they're not
No,
here.
we only got one in petition
Yeah.
today, so.
Well-
But this is going to Ways and Means, so you
Okay,
guys can
thank you.
carry on the show there, all right.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Looking at you, Sarah. Anybody else? If not, we're going to move on to 3216, relating to regular session review working group. This is the companion to the one we heard the other day. First up, we have LRB. They have comments. We have SPO.
State Procurement Office will stand down for written testimony and comments.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. OIP.
Oh, this one's sorry.
They've submitted comments, and then we've got support from Jacob Wianek, Lila Mauer, and Lynn Matusau. Two are in support, Jacob and Lila, and Lynn is opposed. That's all we have on 3216. Anybody in the audience, dwindling audience, wishing to testify? Seeing none. I have a joke, but I won't say it. That concludes today's hearing. What we do is all of these decisions, for the bills heard today, will happen on Thursday at 3 o'clock in room 225. Thank you for being here. This concludes the hearing. Did I get that right?